Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Micah Barnes. Welcome to the Hermann's live stream. I feel like a very, very lucky artist because I've been able to cross this country doing these live stream shows in support of my new album, Vegas Breeze. And I want to say a special thank you, shout out to the team at Hermann's for making this possible and for welcoming you back to the venue and offering jazz to the Victoria and BC audiences. As an artist who tours the country, I have the opportunity to work in a number of different, all across the provinces. And Hermann's has always been one of my absolute favorite spots. There's something about the good energy there in Victoria and the way that people are so responsive. I love the room and I love the folks that help bring the jazz to you every night. So when we're back open and going, make sure you come on in and support the venue. That's why I'm here. So I'm a jazz guy, and you probably know me from either my shows at Hermann's or also when I would come and play Victoria, BC with the Nylons. And man, what an experience it was to sing 4-part harmony. Believe me, I miss the guys now it's just me and my piano. But I am going to do my best to try to sing some of the tunes from the new album, Vegas Breeze. For those of you who are interested in purchasing, come to micahbarnes.com. Not only will you be able to buy a hard copy, which we mail to you, but you'll be able to figure out from there, negotiate where to get an iTunes version, etc. Also, all the live tour dates are there. And for the next week or so, I will be performing almost every night. In fact, I think tomorrow, Saturday, I'm at the Basement in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. On Saturday, right? And on Sunday, I'm in Waterloo, Ontario at the Jazz Room, another great jazz venue. And then I take a day off. And then on Tuesday, we're heading, we start to roll. We do Market Hall in Peterborough, and St. John's, Newfoundland just came on board. How exciting is that? And we're also doing Halifax, Nova Scotia. So we're going coast to coast, people. Thrilled to have you with us. And I hope that everyone's settled in and feeling good. I know that, in Victoria, it's the dinner show, and on the East Coast, it's already an evening time event. So whatever's going on in your home, I want you to sit back, relax, and let me take you on a Vegas breeze. I want to take you far away from it all. Down in the desert, there's a place that I know. Just one weekend, we can feel that Vegas breeze. That Vegas breeze, bringing back sweet memories. The road ahead's a mystery, a song we long to know. Under the neon stars, who knows what fortune calls? Where the roulette ball may fall, who knows what the night may hold? There's something blowing in that Vegas breeze. One kiss and magically, tomorrow suddenly became a game for two. Come on, let's roll the dice, order something smooth on ice, make our own sweet paradise underneath the Vegas moon. I confess that I never guessed you would stay to play all night. And band gon' swing, slots gon' ring, ring a ding till the morning light. Or keeping cool by the hotel pool, it's a great big swinging playground. And if we miss the plane back home, well, we can blame it on that Vegas breeze. The lucky stars that brought you to me. Future's ours if you believe. Big dreams can come true. So darling, take my hand, and we'll wander this wonderland. Time to talk about wedding plans. riding on that Vegas breeze. Bang gon' swing, slots gon' ring, ring a ding through the night. It's a great big swinging playground, and if we make a candle on that plane, we'll make a Vegas love song. We will tell years from now by the wishing well how we heard them wedding bells ringing in that Vegas breeze, Vegas breeze, Vegas breeze. I wanna take you away. I wanna take you away. On a Vegas breeze. Thank you so much. I'm going to pretend I can hear you, so pretend to clap. Fantastic to be with you guys. That was the title tune from the album, and it just happens to be written by myself and my brother Daniel Barnes, a composer. You know, we were looking for the right kind of Vegas tune, and there's so few Vegas tunes that are, you know, appropriate to give you that 24 hours or weekend in Vegas feeling. So I just kind of went after it on my own. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to start to look at the different artists that we cover on this album. It's all cover tunes except for two, and I'm trying to move beyond the Rat Pack into a kind of, in fact, I call it the hashtag Beyond the Rat Pack playlist. I really wanted to dig into the other entertainers who were, you know, the kings and queens of the showrooms back in the day. For instance, Nat King Cole, Mel Torme, Lena Horne, Judy Garland, and the lady who introduced this song to the public when she recorded it in 1963, Ms. Peggy Lee. It's called When in Rome, I Do as the Romans Do. When in Spain, for reasons I don't explain, I remain enjoying our brew. Well, don't deplore my fondness for fun to adore. You know how a fun to adore can lead to a few. And baby, when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. If perchance I'm saying farewell to France, and the romance drops in from the blue, share more, I beg of you please endure my taking a brief detour with somebody new. It's just that when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. And though from Italy I lie to you prettily, don't think of me bitterly, but know that I'm true. Except now and then in Rome, I get that old yen in Rome. And naturally when in Rome, I do as the Romans do. Thank you, guys. That's my international Playboy cheating song. You know, everyone's got to have them. And I don't know if you recognize the tune, but it was later made into much more of a jazz standard by Tony Bennett and Bill Evans on their legendary recordings. You know, it's interesting, the celebration of that mid-century kind of cool and you know, hipster swagger that was so prevalent in the showrooms is a big part of my attraction to this era. Everyone dressed up, probably for the last time, going out to hear music. You know, and also there was this sort of grown-up sophistication, because so many of the songs came from musical theater or the movies and standards. You know, it was in the last moment of the pre-rock era or the pre-R&B era, when the Beatles' invasion was just still many, many years away. But one of the things that strikes me about Vegas in our popular imagination is not just the excitement and sophistication, but also that lovely sadness that can settle over the town, you know, the next morning when all your winnings are gone, or many decades later when you're still afraid to go home. I wandered off the strip into a very seedy bar where a bunch of locals were old guys on the bar stools gabbing one time when I was working in Vegas, and it was so delicious to kind of feel the rot and the despair. But you know, there was still that sort of, you never know, tomorrow, you know, my number might come in. And of course, that's so much a part of what Vegas promises. Tom Waits wrote a beautiful song that seems to express that that sense of underground seediness that Vegas also holds. She sends me blue valentines all the way from Philadelphia to mark the anniversary of someone that I used to be. It feels like a warrant is out for my arrest. You got me shaking in a rear view mirror. That's why I'm always on the run. That's why I changed my name. I didn't think you'd ever find me here. You sent me blue valentine, like half-forgotten dreams, like a pebble in my shoe. As I walk these lonely streets, and the ghost of your memory is like a thistle in your kiss. It's a burglar that can break a rose's neck. It's the tattooed broken promise. I got eyes beneath my sleeve. I see every time I turn my head. I can never wash the guilt or get these blood stains off my hands. It takes a whole lot of whiskey to make these nightmares go away. I cut my bleeding heart out every night. I die a little more every Valentine's Day. Don't you remember I promised I would write you these blue Valentines, blue Valentines, blue Mr. Waits, he will write you a tune, will he not? Well, you know, while I was bringing in these cover tunes to the band, I didn't really realize we were focusing on Vegas record. I was just bringing in tunes that I was excited to try singing. You know, there's a sort of a tradition in male jazz crooning where, you know, there's a warm intimacy and there's a real kind of romantic balladry, and that's always been something that I've worked with, as well as a bit of a bluesy swagger. That's kind of one of my things, you know. But what I'd never really done was the big showroom kind of power vocal, you know, and partly because I think I reacted to that sort of macho vibe in some of the, you know, Rat Pack shenanigans, if you will, and you know, just growing up, I just wasn't attracted to that, you know. And then as I started to remember back, I was like, wait a minute, didn't Nat King Cole and Mel Torme and Tony Bennett also work those rooms, you know? So I'm going to do a medley for you now from the album. The medley's called Welcome to the Club, and it's made up of two songs with the same title. There is a song that Nat King Cole recorded called Welcome to the Club, and then there's a song that was written by Mel and recorded by Mel Torme called Welcome to the Club. I found the Mel Torme while I was looking for the Nat King Cole one, and I was thrilled, because as it turns out, they work so well together. You know, a guy talking to a guy late at night, bar stool to bar stool, heart to heart. Don't worry, man, it's gonna get better. Welcome to the club. So you're all choked up, and you're down in the mouth, and you hardly can speak, and you're fully convinced that what's happened to you is supremely unique, and you tell yourself that you shouldn't cry, 'cause you're gonna cry alone. Well, you're crying, but you're certainly not alone. Do I hear you saying you got hurt? Did you say that she's in Flanford? Are you saying that some dirty dollar deal went, and did you dare? Well, but I say welcome, welcome, welcome to the club. Now you know the feeling when you're stung. Now you know why those torchy songs are sung. Well, you stumble down the ladder of love to the bottom rung. Well, but welcome, welcome, welcome to the club. I said, hey, don't look so gloomy. It happened to me, have no fear. Love went through me, the world snap back, jack. just dropped on you, because that big romance fell through. Welcome to the club. If you need a problem, atmosphere to burn that torch and shed that seed, go right on crying in your beer. I say welcome to the club. Friends will say you're better off, and the list each fault she had. Pull yourself together, kid. Keep a stiff upper lid and all that jazz. Misery, they say, love's company, so take my hand, depend on me. I'm in the very same boat, you see. As Shakespeare said, there's the run. Welcome, to the club. I said, here, don't look so gloomy. Here, it happened to me. Have no fear. Love went through me, but we're all snap back jack. 10 to 1, you wound up wondering why she gave you up for that other guy. But until you find the kiss that makes you kiss your blues goodbye. Well, bud, welcome, 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 welcome to the club. Thank you so much. Well, you know, I do enjoy singing those tunes. I'd like to return to Ms. Peggy Lee and give you guys another tune that she introduced to the public. Because she was a singer-songwriter and really took a hand in shaping her material, I believe she brought us a canon that is still vital into today's contemporary jazz scene. I'm doing my own thing with it. And I also rewrote the lyric just a little bit because it's kind of a little hokey and a little 50s, if you follow my drift. But for those of you who like that 3 a.m. in the morning feeling, here's a little Black Coffee. Also from the Vegas Breeze record. Well, I'm feeling mighty lonesome. I haven't slept a wink. I walk the floor and watch the door, and in between I drink black coffee. Love's a hand-me-down brew. Oh, I'll never know a Sunday in this weekday room. Well, I'm talking to the shadow, 1 o'clock until fall. Lord, how slow moments go when all I do is pour black coffee. Ooh, sense of blues caught my eye. I'm hanging out on Monday, all my Sunday dreams to dry. dead. Just because I'm only human, gonna drown my past regret in coffee and cigarette. I'm moving all the morning, morning all the night. In between is nicotine and not much hard to fight. Black coffee, feeling low as the ground. Yeah, it's driving me crazy, waiting for my baby to one day maybe come around. Whoa. Just because I'm only human, gonna drown my past regret in coffee and cigarette. I'm moaning all the morning, moaning all the night. In between it's nicotine and not much hard to find. Black coffee, feeling low, feeling low as the ground. It's driving me crazy, waiting for my baby to one day maybe come around. Yes, I'm hanging out my Sunday blues, hanging out my sun. I'm hanging out. Oh, don't you know I'm hanging out my Sunday blues. Black coffee. All right then. So those are some tunes from the new record, Vegas Breeze. Fantastic to be able to sing them for you. And hey, you guys, I just want to let you know, I have some very, very dear memories of being at Herman's and there in Victoria with you all. It's one of the first spots in the country where I managed to begin my solo career once I came back from the States. I don't know if you guys knew, but Molly Johnson put me on the road opening the show for her, and I ended up singing on her album with her, and you know, just sort of a nice introduction back to Canada. And then one of the first shows that I booked outside of Toronto, where I live, was in Victoria with you guys at Herman's. So I had a chance to meet Herman myself and be welcomed into the legendary club by the man and all the fantastic people that have helped shepherd and support and nurture the jazz community there in Victoria, and who have helped keep Herman's alive. To you, I salute you, I thank you, and we thank you. So I'm going to do a couple of tunes from my last album, New York Stories, which you guys have been so embracing of, and I so deeply appreciate it. Here's a tune called I Came Back. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I came back to face my demon. I came back to face the mirror. I came back to gather what is left of me, my dear. I came back to all of my secrets. I came back to all of my lies. I came back before I used up all of my lives. I came back to visit our old house and shake it with your ghost. I came back of these memories hurts the most? You thought I was dead and gone. I came back like an old time regular, your favorite song. I came back. I fell down, but it wasn't long, so don't you count me out, because I came back strong. Cheated on my whole hometown, baby, I came back. Oh, baby, I came back. Oh, yeah, yeah. I came back to sit through the wreckage. I came back to shed my skin. I came back to salvage what is left of who I've been. I came back to visit our old homes and check in with your ghost. I came back to see which of these memories hurts the most. You thought I was dead and gone. I came back. I came back like an old time regular, your favorite song. I came back. I came back. I fell down, but it wasn't long, so don't you count me out, because I come back strong. Cheated on my old hometown, but baby, I came back. Oh yeah, I came back. Oh, don't you know, you thought I was dead and gone. I came back. I came back like an old time regular, your favorite song. I came back. I came back. I fell down, but it wasn't long, so don't you count me out, because I come back strong. Cheated on my own hometown, but baby, I came back. Oh, baby, baby, I came back. Oh, baby, I came back. Well. It's been wonderful to be with you guys. I'm going to give you one more tune and think about the day when we can all get back together again in the warmth of Hermann's, enjoy the great food and the great atmosphere, and actually say hello to one another. My Victoria people are so good to me. I love my friends out there. I love my people. And so I'm just giving this to you to keep you warm and fuzzy, and so we can all do this again together. The last record, New York Stories, was written while my honey was on Broadway. So I was like a stage door Johnny. That's kind of a bad situation for a guy like me. Get in a lot of trouble in Times Square, if you know what I mean. So I made it a pact with myself to, between the hours of 5 and 11, when my baby was busy, I rented myself a little writing room just off of Times Square, one of those little rehearsal rooms, rehearsal studio with a piano, a tiny window out looking on New York. And I got about to writing some songs, which ended up being the New York Stories album. It's the story of not only my love affair, but my love affair with New York and the musical history of New York. I tried to sum it up in this tune, which is sort of like a tune about the triangle that I found myself in. Me, my honey, and the city called New York. Once you've seen Manhattan, it's so hard to go home. I don't blame you, baby, for letting your heart roam. But I am not a man who out of fight. And so I sing this ditty to that city, tall and bright-eyed. New York, New York, I can't compete with your size. Your crazy days and wild nights, your Broadway lit up with a light. Don't you take my baby, New York, New York. Who wouldn't fall for your charms? Where strangers dance until dawn, to wake up lost in your arms. Well, don't you take my baby, a tear fell from my eye when we said goodbye. Who knows if you're ever coming home? Well, you've been dreaming of that city that you love. Babe, I know I got to let you roam. Well, New York, New York, around each corner of thrill, from Rockaway up to Sugar Hill, you got my true love head over heels. Well, don't you take my baby. When the cold winter blows in off the river and the chill slips under the door, you'll be dreaming of that hometown love, and I'll get you back in my arms once more. Once more, New York, New York. I can't compete with your kids, but I got stuff that you miss. Your champagne's gonna run out of fizz, and my baby's coming back. My baby's coming back home. Oh yeah, yeah. My baby, oh baby, baby's coming back. My baby's coming back. Show the button, baby, baby's coming back. A shoo boom baya better, babu babum baya better, ya bop dee down. Baby's coming back. Oh baby, coming back home. Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you to all the people who help support Herman's. We will see you soon. Keep the music alive and strong, and remember, today, the same as every day, racial equality is a part of our lives, our thoughts, our hearts. Raise your voices strong and keep that ball rolling.